We forgot our microphones.
No, they're ordered. I actually charged one this morning.
Nice.
It's totally charged. The other one's not completely charged, but it'll be fine. Yeah, bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's go. All right.
Where'd you catch it?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. What you snort like, man? Yeah, I can't sit like that. That does actually hurt. Let's not do that.
Yeah, because this one hurt her foot.
Yeah. Decided to kick my wall.
He called for you.
I need a pillow. I'll take that one because, you know.
Okay. Sorry, I am looking up the case.
Oh.
There we are.
We are there.
Whee! Pew, pew, pew.
Wait.
Okay.
Always fun
Turning
to laugh.
down the volume.
Always fun to laugh
Because
at
I
yourself.
will not be able to pay attention. All right, we're talking about an interesting case today. Can you turn it down lower? My brain cannot fully comprehend paying attention to both. Okay, so we're going to talk about a really interesting case. But first, do we want to talk about we're 5 to 2s?
Yes.
We're 5 to 2s.
We know 5 to 2s.
So you're going to have a little bit more of a relaxation time before we start these.
Yep.
Which is going to be really helpful in the next upcoming cases.
Mm-hmm.
Very helpful. Too helpful.
And
even.
then Wednesdays, because my change of my Sundays to Wednesdays, I'm trying to look up some conspiracy theory. I already found one. It is the oldest conspiracy theory in history. I can't tell you because it's on my phone.
Oh.
It's like the oldest ever. And since now you get off at 2, you can join me for that one.
That's true. Also, can we please talk? My favorite conspiracy theory that is no longer a conspiracy theory, unless, you know what? It's still a conspiracy theory. Some people still believe it. Is that in early days when Galileo was like, "Yo, the planets and sun don't revolve around us. We revolve around the sun." And the Catholic Church went, "Witch!" Oh wait, you're a man.
Hey,
Why?
A man could be a witch. He could be a wizard.
So he, I think they excommunicated him because of that for a little bit.
That's stupid.
It was the way of the church.
Well, they need to just knock it off. All right. But yeah, I was looking it up. And actually, well, no, my tablet's in the room. Let's see all. Sorry, I put the shirt on.
Careful with your microphone.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I was like, you know what? I was trying to think of something to do because during the summer I kind of get bored of crafting. And I know I say that and that's weird because I like to craft.
No.
But it's just too hot and I don't really feel like doing it, to be honest. But at the same time, I want to do something different on Wednesday. So since we have our podcast on Monday, like, you know what? Why not start doing some conspiracy theories? Because it's going to start getting cooler. I want to see how well this takes off with those conspiracy theorists. This is they are.
They can get pretty aggressive, I will say, from what I've seen.
Well, I mean, Angela and Thomas I don't get to read the comments because they're already on them before I even get to take a look at it for like 2 seconds.
This one has a little bit of a conspiracy theory to it.
Okay.
So it's also, again, it may be August, but we are starting Halloween early. So like I said, this case deals with possessions, deals with hauntings.
Nice.
It deals with a murder.
Okay.
It deals with the Warrens.
Surprise!
Elizabeth and I forgot his name.
Warren.
Elizabeth Warren and was it John Warren? I don't know. I forgot their names. It was a while since I wrote this. So in the beginning, I'm gonna let you know how like Arnie Johnson was perceived because he is, and spoiler alert, he is the killer. He is not.
What?
Yeah, he's the killer. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of heads up, and then we're gonna go to what happens before the murder, what leads up to the murder.
Okay. I don't know if you can hear it, but our washer's going, so I apologize. Hence the noise canceling mics.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the Arnie Johnson case. He only killed one person, which normally wouldn't be.
I just thought of something. Go ahead.
A national case, as much as I hate to say it. But the reason this case became so popular was because it was the justification. It takes place in the early 80s, and the reason this case was so interesting was because it was the first time someone tried to use the defense in a court of law that they were demonically possessed and therefore not guilty of murder.
Okay.
So let's learn a little bit more about what people thought of Arnie, and then we're going to talk about the background, at least, of the murder. So Arnie, according to family and friends, was a kind and thoughtful person. He would go out of his way to help people, so he was a really good kid. No one could have foreseen what was going to happen. So they all said that while all of Arnie's friends were drinking, and going to clubs and being young adults, Arnie was singing in church choirs and playing Little League and taking his younger sister fishing. One of his friends said he didn't go discoing, he wasn't into drugs, he doesn't have long hair, and he never raised his voice.
Okay.
So again, this is like the early 80s.
My
discoing era. And having long hair if you were a guy was a sign you were a bad person.
I mean, hair of the 80s. What can you say?
I know. I know.
That's my era.
So Arnie's parents separated early in his life when he was 9 months old. There were periods where they would try and reconcile, but it wouldn't work out. And they officially divorced when he was 4 years old. So it happened for a while that they tried to reconcile. His mom, Mary Johnson, was a single mom at the time, and she struggled working several jobs to keep everyone afloat. Arnie had younger sisters, Wanda and Janice, and there was a younger cousin that would live with them on and off, and her name was Mary. When he finished 8th grade, he did try to move in with his dad, who was working as a landscaper in Bethel, Connecticut. It didn't work out. They couldn't make their relationship work, and it was too tense, so he decided to move back home with his mom.
That sucks.
So his mom was really struggling, and Arnie actually dropped out of school at 16 to work odd jobs to support his siblings. And according to his mom, that was the only reason he dropped out of school.
Was to work
to provide money. So here's a little thing. He met his wife, Debbie Glatzel, through his mom when he was 12 and Debbie was 19.
Oh, there's not an age difference. Not at all.
It was 1974. Wait, what? RFID tags.
Oh, what? For tomorrow? Or just in general?
Sorry, I got a text from work and somebody was like, is this clearance or does this need RFID tags? It needs RFID tags. Okay, so hi Angela.
Hi.
So it was 1974 and Debbie was working as a checkout clerk.
You're good. We understand. You gotta eat.
She was working as a checkout clerk, and she said that she knocked over a display in the supermarket And Arnie told his mom that he was going to help that lady. And then Debbie and Mary became really good friends, like really close friends. So Debbie and Arnie started dating a couple of years later. I'm not sure how much later, but they did start dating later. But it wasn't when he was 12, so
okay.
That's a perk. Not a perk. So when they started dating, they lived with Debbie's family to save some money, which makes sense. And by the 1980s, he was a legal adult. The couple moved into their own home, but it wasn't actually their own. They bought Arnie's mom, sister, and younger cousin to live with them in a small house. Debbie basically said this was her dream house. She thought she could move in and build a nice, beautiful life. They were renting this house. They did not have a beautiful life in this house. They were excited to move, like most people, but that changed on the day when Debbie's 11-year-old brother David had a paranormal experience that terrified him and changed everyone's life. So according to Debbie, David, her brother, really liked Arnie, and they got along really well, and he wanted to be near Arnie all the time. So he went to go help them move. Now, there are two conflicting stories, and I will tell you both stories. When they got to the house, they noticed the previous tenants had left some furniture, including a bed in the main bedroom. And Debbie had sent all the brothers were there. All of Debbie's brothers were there, and she had sent them to each room, and it's like, you clean this room, you clean this room, you clean this room.
Okay.
So David was sent to the main bedroom to clean.
Okay.
And when he was cleaning the main bedroom, David saw what he called a fiendish-looking figure and described him as an old man, burnt and black looking. And he was telling him, beware and get out of the house. Another thing, there was a bed in that room that they had left. So in another telling, he not only does that, but the figure rushes him and pushes him back onto the bed.
Okay.
And in this telling, David said that seeing and hearing this figure and feeling all that, he screamed and ran out of the house altogether because he was really freaked out about it. So, according to some tellings of the story, he did not tell Debbie and Arnie anything of what happened. He just ran into the house and said, "I'm good. I'm done cleaning. I'm gonna stay out here." And then he just sat outside the house.
Oh wow.
In other tellings, he tells Debbie and Arnie because they follow him out and they try to get him to come back in the house. And David tells his sister that there was an old man that had pushed him and he was not going back in the home. He was terrified and he refused to go back in. And Arnie and Debbie went back in and continued cleaning, but David stayed outside till they were ready to leave. So there's two different tellings again. One where he doesn't tell them he saw an old man, he just keeps it to himself, and another where
it says he did tell.
Yeah.
Okay.
So later that night, they're at Debbie's parents' house, and they tell Debbie's mom about what happened. And while they were talking, David comes out of his bedroom and said he's still having visions of the old man. But now he can hear the old man's voice in this house, the Debbie's parents' house. David said that the old man had an animal. The old man had an animal trapped in the house and was tormenting it. And he said the animal is scratching out the door, trying to escape.
Okay.
As time went on, David kept elaborating on the story, and it became more detailed. And the old man was described as having hooves for feet. David then said there were other men near him in grotesque costumes, and it was getting scarier and scarier. And as David kept telling them about the visions he was having in his parents' home, not the house where it first occurred, his home, it started to scare Debbie. She started to go, should we move in, and was questioning everything. But they had invested so much money they couldn't back out. So they went back the next day and kept moving in. And when they got to the house that day, things had changed in the house. There were slight changes in it. Arnie and Debbie noticed scratch marks on the inside of the front door. It looked like an animal had caused it. So like on the inside of our front, like animal was scratching at it.
Okay.
Arnie later told producers on A Haunting, the reality series that talks about paranormal experiences, that's when he began to question if there was something really wrong in the house. So Debbie took this as what David had seen was real. So she said they invested 2 months' rent and they decided they weren't moving in. Mary Johnson, Arnie's mom, wasn't convinced, mainly because she had already told her landlord she was moving. So they decided to move into the house anyway. So Arnie and Debbie moved back in with Debbie's parents because they didn't want to live in that house.
Mm-hmm.
But when they got there, Debbie's mom got really agitated. And she was saying that David was all upset all evening, insisting the old man, who he was now calling the Beast, was angry at him for telling Arnie and Debbie and was mad they weren't moving into the home.
But did he not? Didn't he not tell David, beware of the house and get out? Like, get out of the house, beware.
Yeah.
But was he just talking to David, or
Again,
was
this
he just talking to? Was he saying for everybody to get out?
again, I don't know. And again, this is not like typical hauntings, because typical hauntings, the spirit does not immediately attach and stay with you the whole entire time.
Okay, because that's. I mean,
It and
they're
that's
gonna get.
where
He's gonna get mad because they're not moving into the house. But then he sat there and told David
yeah, the
to
boy
beware
to get out. Yeah,
to get out.
exactly.
So why would you tell somebody to get out and then get PO'd because now they're not moving in? Well, okay, you warned them to get out. Make up your mind.
I know
Make up your
it
mind.
doesn't make any sense. David was saying the beast followed him to Debbie's parents' house and that the beast wanted his soul and he was aggressive as he was pushing him, scratching him and hurting him. Mind you, David is 11 at the time.
Okay.
Arnie said later the fear in the child was so overwhelming and something was wrong and I believed him. So Arnie and Debbie were like, he's upset. Let's get him out of the house for a little bit.
Yeah.
A way to get him out, take him to the park, anything to get his mind off the beast.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed to be working. But when they returned to Debbie's parents' house, he was like, the beast is in that house and I'm not going in. And it took some work convincing him to get him back in the house. But eventually he did. And that night, when David was getting ready for bed, things kind of escalated, according to Arnie and Debbie. David was seen being physically attacked by an unseen force. The force was seen striking him and pushing him around the room. Arnie said later the scariest thing was seeing this happen to him with nothing doing it.
Mm.
There's also there's different tellings. There's tellings that when it first happened, the house shook. Like there was a violent shaking in their house after it occurred.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Again, there's different variations to the story. The story does not
Narcissist.
stay the same.
Sorry. I look up and that's what I see Angela say. Narcissist.
So this 11-year-old was essentially going through it. Apparently, he was having convulsions. He was yelling, screaming, swearing, kicking, and actually becoming a lot more aggressive.
Yeah.
It was getting worse and worse. And Debbie's family went to a priest at their church, asking for the priest if they could perform an exorcism or some kind of similar ritual.
Yeah.
Fun fact: not every priest can do a major rite of exorcism. They can do minor rites, but major rites have to be done by a priest who is specifically trained for it. And there's also a really long process to confirm possession and not mental health issues. It's actually a really cool process.
Okay.
Like really cool. And fun fact, there are less priests who are wanting to be trained as exorcism priests.
Mm-hmm.
And many people have also noted that there are an increase in priests that don't actually believe in the devil or evil. Um,
And why are you a priest?
well, and that's the thing. I had a teacher who he was old school. He was Vatican II. No, he was pre-Vatican II kind of Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
He went to the Latin masses. He did all that other stuff. And he had a priest who was very much a post-Vatican II priest in the beginning. And he had an encounter that really moved him to pre-Vatican II, to the Latin mass and all that. And he was in a confessional, and now you can do confessions face to face. Pre-Vatican II, you could not do confessions face
They
to
were
face.
in the box.
You were in the box. Vatican II basically said you can do confession face to face. So he's doing confession face to face. And this guy comes in and he goes, "What are your sins? What do you have to confess?" And he goes, "I just have a question for you." And the priest goes, "Okay, ask your question." And he goes, "Do you believe in evil?" And the priest goes, "Well, he didn't believe in evil,
Mhm.
but he wanted to like soothe the person, and he goes, well, there's good, there's evil, like
A little
everything.
bit everything, yeah.
And he basically said, because it believes in you, and the priest sees the man's face change into something that was not human. And in that moment, the priest goes, oh my
Okay.
gosh, evil is real, devil is real.
Right.
Oh my gosh. He then becomes Vatican one priest, and he does more Latin masses. He becomes super devoted. Again, that's just a story that was told to me by this teacher. There is also a lot more stories that there are more people asking for exorcisms that the church is approving,
Mm.
but there are less exorcist priests
Mm.
to do the rites of exorcism. So now there's like almost a waiting list, because again, the process for an exorcism is you have to go to your priest and you have to go, hey, I need an exorcism done, or I know somebody who needs an exorcism done. And the priest goes, okay, cool. Well, let me go to my bishop. So then they have to go and write a letter to the bishop saying, hey, this person is requesting this. And the bishop comes back and goes, here's a list of psychologists who worked with the Catholic Church. You got to send them to 2 of them.
Okay.
So that they can prove that it is not mental illness.
Okay.
And
Makes
you
sense.
have to get, so you'll go to one person, that person will be like, no, this is mental illness, this is not demonic possession.
Yeah.
And then if that priest, that psychologist goes, no, this is most certainly, there's something wrong here that we cannot detain as mental illness, they'll go to a second psychologist, and that second psychologist is like, okay, cool, I also agree, this is not.
Now, do they send the notes from the first psychologist to the second one?
No, it is
Oh.
a purely
Okay.
blind thing, so that the psychologist cannot be like, yeah, you're right, or anything like that.
It's their own words.
It is their own words. It is,
Okay.
and it is sent back to a specific priest who is studying the case. They will then have that person then go talk to that priest, and if that priest is like, I think these psychologists were wrong, I think this is a mental illness, I think you're seeking this out, because weirdly enough, there are people who seek exorcisms.
Huh.
They want to be exorcised, because I think it's the idea of, if you have an exorcism done on you, you're holy.
That's not the case.
Because your evil is removed. It's not the case. So that person goes, okay, cool, stamp, gotta send it to the Vatican. The Vatican then looks at all of the information, goes, okay, that's cool, that's cool. They talk to them, they agree, great, fantastic. We're gonna send you to the exorcist priest. Now, because the exorcist priest could be in another state, could be in another thing, might be a little bit of a wait to get the actual exorcist priest. In the meantime, they might do a minor rite of exorcism and see if that helps the issue. They might do a blessing on the house to see if that helps the issue. If that does help the issue, and this is while they're going to the psychologist.
Yeah.
If it does help for a short period of time, but then comes back, then they're like, okay, get them in here faster.
Yeah.
They'll come in, they'll interview you, they'll talk to you, because the exorcist priest has dealt with other exorcisms. So he'll know the telltale signs. He's a little bit more equipped for it. And then he'll be like, okay, cool, we're going to do this exorcism. And then they do the actual rite of exorcism.
Oh, wow. That's a long process.
It is a very long process. Very long.
But to me, in doing a process like that, understandably, they have to go through their chain, like what they say, the chain of command.
Mhm.
Like at work, you got to go through chain of command, right?
You have to go through the chain of command, but it is also very interesting. It is also a way for them to be like, hey, listen up. We did our due diligence. This is not mental illness. This is not this. This is not that.
But if they have to sit on a waiting list, and if it is what they say it is, if it is they need an exorcism and they need to have it done, you're prolonging that person's life, and this is just my
Yeah.
opinion. It's my opinion. That to me, you would be prolonging that person's safety and their life because of how of where that other
And that is
the exorcism priest may be at.
the downside with the fact that less priests are wanting to become exorcist
Well,
priests.
yeah, because
because
they sit there and watch Linda Blair spew out pea soup.
it's that, and then
Hi.
also, like I said, it's also like I said, hi, like I said, there are more priests who are joining the priesthood who don't believe in evil, who don't believe the devil. There's the saying that they don't necessarily believe in it.
Yeah.
They believe in God, they believe in Him, but they don't believe in the bad parts.
So to me, I mean,
and so
I believe in both. There's good and there's evil.
So
you just got to stem away from the evil.
It's a long process, and if more people became more,
Excuse me.
And here's the thing: they will only train men to be exorcists. They will not train women to be exorcists because women are more prone to evil because Eve took the apple.
Well, can I sit there and say it's because of you men that we become evil?
Even though one of the most devoted disciples in the early church was Mary Magdalene, was a woman.
Mm-hmm.
She was one of the most
they did a movie.
dedicated.
They did a movie of a female that she was in the Catholic Church, and she went with them to the stuff, and she wanted to see what it was like, and then they turn around and they allowed her to be a part of it. Then after that,
so they will allow women nuns specifically to be there for the exorcism rite and to join the priest in praying, but they are not allowed to actually be the one performing the main rite of the exorcism because it is not their place. It's like women are not allowed.
Yeah, true. You can't have the light without the dark, because if it's light all the time,
exactly,
it'll throw off.
Yeah, the Catholic Church just has this. It's an old idea. Even though Jesus never said anything in the Bible about not wanting women in his disciplehood, in his apostles. Yeah. He welcomed women all the time. He always went to their houses.
And again, her saying that, it's because of how many times it's been rewritten.
Exactly.
Of what's been in there.
And also, we have to remember, during the time, the idea of women being holy people was baffling for men. They stated that the only reason
Adam ate the apple, then lied about it.
And that's why the apple got stuck in his throat. Yeah, that's why you have an Adam's apple.
Oh my God, I'm gonna laugh at that because that's pretty funny, and I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they say that in the beginning of the church, the only reason they allowed women into the disciple area and the teaching area was because women could baptize women. It would be improper for a man to baptize a woman. So a woman can do it because we didn't have enough people at the time. And the moment they got enough people, they were like, women are no longer needed to teach. Just mind your business. And I think it's in Peter or Paul who says that women must sit down and, I'm paraphrasing, essentially sit down and let their husbands lead. Which, I don't know where Jesus ever said that. If anything, the only time he said anything to a woman was Mary, when he goes, woman, when he does the wine changing, he goes, woman. But back then, woman was a term of essentially endearment. Mm-hmm. He's like, why would you ask this of me? And then he proceeds to do it anyway.
We have power.
And that's the thing. Even he listens to him. I mean, he goes to the two sisters, and one of the sisters is like, you're not telling her to cook and clean and serve you. And he goes, she's listening to me. She's understanding. She's gaining more knowledge. It is not you serving me where you gain this. It is you listening. It's to me, it's just a baffling thing in the Catholic Church. But yeah, women cannot perform exorcisms. Hence why Lorraine Warren she has never performed an actual rite of exorcism because she is a woman. Her husband has. Yeah. Because her husband was approved by the Catholic Church, but she was not. So she can assist him in it,
but she just can't
perform it. She cannot perform it in her own. Because she is a woman.
I wonder who feeds you.
So
I'm kidding, because without men we couldn't have kiddos.
Yeah.
You know.
So it was getting so he was screaming, swearing, kicking, and becoming more aggressive, and it was getting worse and worse. Debbie's family went to a priest in their church. Yeah, this is a fun process. Blah 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 blah. Since the early 1960s, the church tried to minimize the talk of demons and evil, but the release of Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist, it became really popular to talk about demons.
I have to admit something. The Bible was written by men to control what they wanted around them. I believe only half of what they said. Oh, yeah,
That's
I
true. Yeah.
agree. So I have to say, because you brought up The Exorcist, I've never seen that movie. I have never seen The Exorcist at all. And I think it's just because when I was younger and I tried to watch it and they wanted to, she freaked me out. When she freaking turns her head, no, I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now when I watch it, yes, I think so because I've never seen it. So that might be on my bucket list to watch this Halloween.
See, I can watch horror films like slasher films. I cannot watch horror films,
Sorry.
like supernatural horror films. I can only watch it in the light. I can only watch it during the day. Try to catch me watching that in the dark. Nah, I'd be too. I was writing this case, and I was scaring myself. And I was like,
You're like, nope.
I had to come out to the living room and be like, in the like bright light, because Justin keeps the room kind of dark when he's gaming.
And we have Christmas lights. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we keep it kind of bright in here. We don't have a lamp in the living room, and the light
The
ceiling
big light.
fan is a little too bright
Yeah.
for our little eyes.
So people now knew about exorcisms. They didn't know about exorcisms before The Exorcist and Rosemary's Baby.
Mm-hmm.
So now they knew about it. So the reason that the church wanted to stop talking about evil and devil so much was because they had done it so much in the medieval time period.
Mm-hmm.
And as it was getting, people started mass hysteria, the witch trials, the thinking of everything as evil, even though it wasn't.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, we made a mistake. Oh, let's reel this back in real quick."
Yeah.
And
Excuse
yeah,
me.
so you now have a whole ramification because of that. So after hearing what was happening to David, an unnamed priest basically told the family,
When she in the bed, her screams are real because the
yeah,
contraption she was on broke her back. Oh,
they say
dang.
that the filming of The Exorcist, there was an actual haunting in it.
Did you see? She just said the
That broke her
contraption she
back.
was on broke her back.
Yeah, because it malfunctioned.
What?
And nobody knew why it malfunctioned.
So literally, Lisa Blair, the one that played The Exorcist, had a broken back.
Yeah, she broke her back. Also, the
I said Lisa, I meant Linda.
part of the reason they say it was haunted was because I think whoever was filming, I think Steven Spielberg was filming The Exorcist. He dug up the pool, and when he dug up the pool, they found actual bones, and it was on Native American land.
That's in the Poltergeist.
Oh no, Poltergeist, yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Wrong.
I know I've not seen The
film.
Exorcist, but I do know
The Exorcist, yeah, but The Exorcist was also haunted.
Right, and I heard about that because they said that there were things that would happen like on the site. But yes, the Poltergeist.
Yeah,
Poltergeist, man.
Yeah.
So all them bodies that you see, them actual bodies in that movie, people from the pool.
Yeah. So
because Zach Bagans, because kind of this is a haunting little thing. Zach Bagans and them went to the Poltergeist house, and what's hilarious, no freaking joke. I don't know if you've seen the episode. So they were outside the house. Okay, since you've seen it, outside the house, and the girl's bedroom, I think, that was on the very front. No joke. There was nothing on in that room. I don't believe. As he said, all of a sudden, poof, flash. Just like what was in the freaking movie. A bright light flash. Did it in that room. They go up there. There's nothing there. The whole house is empty. And they say it was the same house that they used for the movie. But if you look at the front yard's a little different because they had redone the landscaping and all that jazz. Yeah, Linda broke her back. And there so many things that went crazy. Wow. See, I want to see the movie. I have always wanted to watch it. Just as a kid, it did not partake with me. And then knowing that the Poltergeist, the little girl died after filming, that's what it was. So yeah, so on my haunting episode, I'm going to go into the what?
I'm noticing Tataru is she hid herself under the sheets that we have on the couch.
Yeah.
And she has tucked herself in.
So on my haunting episode, I'll pull up the Poltergeist movie. I'll just put up like hauntings during movies.
Yeah.
Like what has actually happened, because I knew that happened, but dang, that's bad for a contraption to break.
Yeah.
While you're doing a movie and a little girl's back gets broken.
Yeah.
I wonder if they had to stop production.
They probably did.
I mean, like for her, she's got to heal.
Yeah.
She's got to, unless they used a doll for the head turning scene. I mean, her head ain't gonna do that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's horrible. I did not know that. So that's common knowledge for me now.
So after hearing what was happening to David, an unnamed priest told the family he wasn't able to do an exorcism. He wasn't trained in it. That they would have to wait weeks to get approval from a higher up diocese. We can't just do exorcisms.
What's a diocese?
So a diocese is basically a section.
She told me to interrupt as much as possible because it's only 10 pages.
A diocese is basically like a county. So a diocese of, so like we're the Diocese of Tucson. So it's basically the Tucson area and all the churches inside. So there's like hundreds of churches inside a diocese. You have the Diocese of Phoenix, and there's hundreds of churches. So a bishop oversees the diocese, and then there's a cardinal that oversees all of those dioceses.
Okay. Well, good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like we're in the Diocese of Tucson.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I know I still need to go to a Catholic church just to see what it's like. Go to a mass on Monday.
Yeah.
Because we'll both be off soon on the same day.
Go through a weekday mass.
Yep. I just want to check it out.
He's like, while I'm starting the process, I can bless your house with holy water, light some candles, do some prayers, which is a typical thing they do.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work. Nothing was changing with David.
Oh.
Apparently David was screaming in Latin and reciting passages from Paradise Lost, which is a poem about a battle between Satan and God. It's an epic poem, so it's like 100 pages. It's hundreds of pages long.
I was gonna say, do you have some of it? But never mind.
Yeah, it's hundreds of pages long, and there was no way he could read it and know the passages by heart. Like it's like a battle. It's like a full-on like God and Satan going at it, and Satan's taunting God.
Have some of it, like
I can pull it up.
I was gonna say I could do it on my tablet real quick.
I can do it real quick.
While you read that.
Let me find.
I just want to, like, you don't have to do the whole thing. Like maybe a couple, maybe like a line or something, just to hear something. I'm always interested in stuff like this. I mean, I'm not a Catholic, and I'm not saying I have to be, but I was telling Abigail a few weeks ago, about a month or so ago, about I've gone to different churches. I've been in different churches. I went to a Nazarene church. I went to a Pentecostal church. I went to a Baptist church, and I just did not feel like I belonged in those churches, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I mentioned to her, because I know she's gone to Catholic school, Catholic church, and having her go with me to like a mass, a mass. Well, we're both not off on Sundays.
Not
and
yet.
soon we're going to be both off on Mondays. So finding like a mass either in the probably more in the morning or in the evening, however they do it, she knows. But just going in and sitting in and going to a Catholic mass, I just want to see what it's like, because for me, the energy in a building, for me, that's how I know. Go to the mission and you'll feel the difference. And see, that's what I want to do.
Well, like if you go to San Javier Mission, you'll feel a difference in the masses.
Because, and I've been to San Javier Mission out there. My thing is,
but you haven't gone with the Catholic, so you don't know the importance of every little thing in that church.
No,
because that church has so much significance.
Yeah, and it's like I guess say I don't know where I belong in it. You know, like trying to, I guess, find my faith, what church I belong to, because every church I've gone to, the energy in the whole building is like really different. And it's one of those that in the Nazarene church that I went to as a kid, I didn't feel comfortable going down the hallways when it was nighttime. Like I didn't like the feeling of it, pretty much. So she's going to help me by us going to like a mass, and that maybe her and I can start going to that, just so I can understand and see if that's where I should be at. Did you find
I'm
it?
trying to find passages. I'm finding a lot of quotes.
Well, even quotes. Or like,
Okay, so I'm gonna read you. It's called essentially Satan's Soliloquy excerpt.
hmm,
It is basically thematically encapsulates Satan's character and nature after the fall.
okay.
Nay, cursed be thou, since thou against his thy will choose freely what is it now so justly ruse. Me, miserable, which way shall I fly? Infinite wrath and infinite despair, which way I fly is hell, I self am hell. And in the lowest deep of a lower deep, still threatening to devour me, open wide, to which the hell I suffer seems a heaven. Oh, then at last relent. Is there no place left for repentance, none for pardon left? None left but by submission, and that word disdain forbids me, and my dread of shame. Among the spirits beneath, whom I secured, with other promises and other vaunts, then to submit boasting I could subdue. Thy omnipotent, I me, thy little know, how dearly I abide thy boast so vain, under what torments inwardly I groan, while thy adore me on the throne of hell, with diadem and sceptre high advanced, the lower still I fall, only supreme. In misery, such joy ambition finds.
Wow.
So basically he's saying this is who I am. I find misery even though I'm being. You have the book? I had the book. I think I gave it away. So I can
It's like he's introducing himself.
he's essentially introducing himself. Um some of the most famous lines from it
Mm-hmm.
can make a heaven of hell a hell of heaven.
Okay.
The mind is its own place and oh, that's what it says. The mind is its own place and in itself can make a heaven of hell and a hell of heaven.
Wow.
And then you have so much the rather thou celestial light shine inward, and the mind through all powers irradiate, their plant eyes all mists from thence, purge and disperse, that I may see and tell of things invisible to mortal sight. So basically, this is like some of the more famous things from this is of man's first disobedience.
Mm-hmm.
Of man's first disobedience and the fruit that forbidden tree, whose mortal taste brought death unto the world.
She says she thinks that Saint Elizabeth has masses every day at 7 or 8:15. You'll have to check. Is that
Saint Adelia's has masses every day at like 9 a.m.
okay?
Of man's first disobedience and the fruit of that forbidden tree,
Thank you,
whose
Angela.
mortal taste brought death into the world, and all our woe with loss of Eden, till one greater man restore us and regain the blissful seat.
Hmm.
Sing heavenly muse that on the secret top of Oreb or Sinai didst inspire. So the fact that this kid was quoting this thing was a little weird because he's 11 years old.
Hmm.
So also he was Catholic. So if he had heard a Latin mass, he could probably, if he'd been going to a Latin mass for a long time, because this is in the early 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
So the church was still doing Latin masses a majority of the time. Vatican II happened in like 1972. So the kid might have heard some Latin in his younger years.
Yeah.
So he may have caught some words. And you'll understand, but it's weird that he was speaking Latin. And it was weird that he was saying quotes of this. The family went back to the unnamed priest and he promised to do a blessing on the house. And even the priest was like, this isn't enough, but I've done my best. So that's when the priests reached out to Ed and Lorraine Warren, who were a husband and wife team of paranormal investigators who lived nearby. There is also a story that it was the mom, David's mom, they had gone to a friend who read tarot cards, and the friend told them about Ed and Lorraine Warren. But also, it said that the mom went to one of Lorraine Warren's lectures before all of this occurred. So she knew who Lorraine Warren was.
Okay.
So, and now we're going to get to the part where we're going to talk about a little bit of the conspiracy theory about this. So I'm going to talk about another version of offense that's not demonic possession. There was a third child between Debbie and David, and his name was Carl. Carl has a different version of events. He was pretty protective of David.
Okay.
So I want to include him because it's not fair to leave him out of the story.
Right.
In the beginning of 1979, Carl was 14, and he said David's mental and emotional health was declining. And that's how he saw it. He said David was having problems in school, like he had a learning disability, and by the 1980s it escalated. He said David was having delusions and he was having seizures. Carl told reporters in 2007 it was a living hell. When we were kids, it was a nightmare. Carl said the family refused to believe that it was physical or psychological, but instead that it had to be spiritual. So they went to a priest, not a doctor.
Oh, okay.
He said that the priest said, I can't do anything, and to go to the Warrens. He claimed that the Warrens saw their family as a gold mine, allegedly. The reason I'm saying this is because there were people in the house that didn't believe it was a demonic possession, but instead it was a mental health case. So Ed and Lorraine Warren are now in the case, and when they get involved, they really are well known at this time. They got really popular because of the Amityville horror.
Right.
Ed was a described demonologist, and he was also approved by the church. Lorraine Warren was a psychic medium, and she could not be given the title of exorcist because
She was female.
she was a woman. The Amityville horror is really well known because it's a haunting that led to a family annihilation.
Right.
We will do a case on this eventually, but that's kind of how the Warrens got their stardom.
Right.
Now, I will say there are conflicting stories. Some say the priest said to call Ed and Lorraine, and another one said that the neighbor said to call them. So, in the one where the neighbor told them to call them,
Yeah.
Debbie's mom called. Debbie called Lorraine herself and spoke to Lorraine.
Right. Okay.
And the Warrens came to the house. And when Lorraine met David, she believed that the creature was in the child's body and that it was there to cause considerable psychic and physical harm to him and his family. The Glatziels, the last name of David, said David's behavior was becoming more aggressive, and they had seen the beatings that were being inflicted upon David by the beast. And the Warrens fully believed that it was a demonic possession. Now, Debbie believed it was linked to the property because it supposedly initially attached itself at the other house, where Mary Johnson was currently living just fine.
Oh, wow.
There was nothing supernatural happening in the house.
Huh. It was attached to David.
Yeah. So Debbie was like, let's just move. And Lorraine said, no, that's not going to fix anything because it will tell you because that's the difference between a haunted house and haunted people.
Yeah. Because if it's a haunted house, the spirit would stay in the house. If it's a haunted person, it's going to attach itself to that person,
and the person,
and it's going to follow you wherever you go.
Yeah. So the Warrens insisted the only fix was for David to perform was by an actual exorcism by a Catholic priest. But like I said, it's a lot to get one recommended.
Yeah.
He did not. He didn't. So Ed said I can perform a minor rite of exorcism, and the Glassers were like, "Great, that'll do it." So I will define the minor rite of exorcisms according to the Conference of Catholic Bishops. So basically, every 10 years, all the bishops get together and they go, let us discuss. And they discuss different things.
Right.
Hence why if you become Catholic, when you get confirmed, right? Because when you're baptized, you're first initiated into the Catholic Church.
Right.
And then you get your second rite of initiation, which is reconciliation. So you confess your sins and you get forgiven for your sins. And you can do that anytime you want, however many times. You have your third rite of initiation, which is the Eucharist, which as soon as you get the Eucharist, you're in the first steps.
Okay.
And then your last rite of initiation to be, when I tell you to become Catholic, it is, you got to go through all four. The last rite of to become a Catholic, a full-fledged adult in Catholicism, is confirmation.
Okay.
You get a big book, a book like this thick.
Okay.
And inside of it is the church's teaching on everything. When I say everything, everything. It defines everything. It gives the church's teachings on everything. And basically that book is, if you ever have a question and you don't got a priest or a bishop near you, you just open up the book.
Okay. And they
And
want you
every
to read
couple
that
years,
book.
and every couple, you can, it's just kind of like a encyclopedia for Catholics.
No, do you keep the book or do you have to give it
You
back?
keep the book.
Oh, jeez.
You can buy the book at any place.
I'd rather just get it from church.
I think it's a catechumen.
It's like free.
That's not
Oh.
expensive.
I meant from the church.
It's not. The churches don't give it out. You have to buy it.
How much?
But the good news is they now have it on the internet. You can actually look it up and you can go to their website and they have made it and so you can look it up individually.
Oh.
So it's kind of cool.
But you can't do that until you get to that fourth step.
No, you can at any point in time. You can find the Catholic Church's teachings on anything. You can use the book. But you have to understand it, like it'll be like they're going to ask you to do research on something inside of it when you're becoming a Catholic.
Okay.
Like you have to know the 7 virtues that you have to practice as being a Catholic and what those virtues are, and it's like patience and stuff like that.
I have patience with some people. Not with everybody.
We all know who.
I have trust issues too.
Mm-hmm.
Same person. I also have no tolerance. I won't put up with y'all crap.
So, the Conference of Catholic Bishops describe the minor rite of exorcism as this: they are prayers used to break the influence of of sin in a person's life. So basically, they're like, sin is the main gateway for demonic possession. So they're like, we pray away the sin, the demon will leave. That's how they do it.
Oh, okay.
So the Glatzeros were waiting to hear back further warnings about the minor rite of exorcism, and David's behavior is getting worse and more aggressive. Lorraine later told reporters that you can't even begin to believe the things we witnessed in that home, and that the boy came under hideous attacks. He had marks all over his body. He could tell things that were going to happen in the future. The Warrens claimed to have seen him levitate off the bed. And it was after that incident that then they began recording their interactions with David and taking pictures. And they told the Glatzels whenever something happened to take pictures of him during those moments and to record those moments. Okay. All right. Just leave me. Mm-hmm. If you really want to know how I know so much about exorcisms and the process to get an exorcism, the church started the process with my biological father. He stopped the process. He didn't want to finish it. He's dead now, so can't ask him about it. Hi guys, how's your day going? I am also a trust issue. You can ask Justin. I ask him every night if he still loves me. I still have trust issues on that. Ew. I Oh yeah, definitely a few people could benefit from it. I also forgot when I went to work because I worked a 5 to 2 today. I forgot to bring my medications with me, so I did today completely unmedicated. Not doing that again. Oh yeah, I feel you, Angela. I am the exact same way. Just will be like, you could have just asked me, and I'll go, yeah, but no. I still did a pallet. It was a bunch of big boxes, so it kind of worked out. Was it Valencia? I know 3 stores are getting ready for inventory right now. And I'm like, well, thank goodness it's not now. Ooh, Cortero. Ugh. They're doing their inventory. They're getting ready for it. Yeah, I know it's like Friday. One of our team leads is there. I know Valencia's is Friday because one of our team leads is there. You missed it. I said, if you want to ask why I know so much about the exorcism process, I said it's because my dad started it. He didn't finish it. And now he's dead.
There's the punchline, folks.
Maybe if he finished it. Maybe if he finished the process, he'd still be here, but we'll never know.
Sometimes people don't finish what they start. And he's one.
No, well, apparently the first psychologist he went to, I don't remember how my mom got this information, but she never wanted to see my father ever again.
Right.
She was willing to put a restraining order if she saw him again, which that's a little suspicious from a church psychologist.
You know, thinking about putting an intermission on this because I had to go to the bathroom. Because I had to go potty. And I have to keep my foot propped up because
she bruised her toe.
I bruised my pinky toe again, which I think this is the 4th time. And it's bruised, so I have to ibuprofen it and stay off of it.
So, and I will play some of the audio of a recording where you can hear him and he's possessed. I'm going to compare it to another recording of somebody who the church still maintains he was possessed. She was possessed.
Mm-hmm.
The church does not say he was possessed. And I'll explain a little bit later why. So, on a recording of October 14th, 1980, you can hear David breathing really heavily and he's like making guttural noises in the back of his throat.
Yeah.
And then it's followed by a voice. Debbie claims that it says Cheyenne dies at work tomorrow, which is a reference to Arnie. His middle name was Cheyenne. Now, according to Debbie, the next day, Arnie was working at a tree surgery company and he fell 20 feet from a tree and suffered a minor knee injury.
Okay.
Arnie claims that this happened a lot. And that might be because Arnie challenged the demon. He would challenge the demon to leave David's body and enter his.
Ooh.
Ed and Lorraine said, no, that's taunting the spirit, don't do that. And Arnie could be heard on a recording telling the demon, I'll fight you.
Arnie.
You can't fight a demon if he's not in the body.
Come on now. You're going to be like, liar, liar, where he's caught in the bathroom kicking his own ass?
Arnie then claims that after he's...
That's not how that works.
So he said, I'll fight you, but he also would say things like, leave David's body and enter mine.
Like he was opening himself up.
Yeah, he's like, leave him and go into
Arnie.
me. He's like, you can possess me. Take me.
And Arnie was
I'm
older.
an adult.
I
I'm
was gonna
19. He was 18, 19 at the time.
Arnie.
So
not how that works, dude.
Arnie says that after he said that, he started to see dark figures and he started to have experiences of his own. Debbie claims that one day when she and Arnie were having conversations with another couple, when all of a sudden Arnie started to growl and literally shake all over, and she was like, I knew it wasn't Arnie. No shit. In a New York Times article, David's mom further stated what was happening to David, it was that he would bite, spit, he would say terrible swear words, and she said he would be thrown around like a rag doll. She remembered seeing that he was she said something along the lines of David can't even do a sit up, he's too fat.
Oh wow.
By the end of 1980, David's behavior was super aggressive, and it reached a point when David, in a fit of rage, allegedly tried to stab Arnie with a knife.
Oh wow.
There's not a police report on it, so hence why it's alleged.
Yeah.
According to the Gladstills, the beast had called on more demons to possess him, and Ed and Lorraine claimed there were 43 demons possessing him.
Oh wow. How 43? Jeez, they're having a party.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. When demonic possessions happen, they don't just one demon doesn't just possess them. There are always multiples. There are always multiple demons.
Jeez, it's like
hence I think it's like what Legion. I'm Legion 66 something. You'll have like possession of 66 legions or something like that. It's a thing.
Wow.
So now after 5 weeks, priests from Gladsill's church came to the house to perform a blessing, and they did a minor rite of exorcism. There is no history of a full rite of exorcism being completed by the completed, but the family claims 4 minor rites were performed, and in one of them, David stopped breathing and CPR had to be administered.
Oh wow.
Priests claimed that they were able to expel the demonic entities possessing David only using the minor rites of exorcism. And in the months that followed, things started to settle down. Some people claim that David continued to have several behavioral issues and psychiatric problems and showed no improvements, but the family was like, no. Improvements. But the family was like, no, he's doing a lot better. He's doing a lot better. So with the demons being gone, Arnie started to focus on work, and he was relying on the work because he was still providing for his mom, his sisters, and his cousin. Debbie was also focusing on work, and Debbie found a job as a groomer at a kennel, and that's where she met 40-year-old Alan Bono, and he was managing the place she worked, and also the apartment complex that his sister owned. So he was managing her apartment complex. Reports say that Arnie was feeling a little strange at the time. He was still claiming to see spirits and demons. He claimed were trying to possess him. He believed that taunting the demons to possess him struck something inside of him.
Yeah,
he said
stupidity.
He said at the old house he saw a demon and looked him right in the face. Debbie said that Arnie would go into trances. He would growl and say he saw the beast later. He would have no memory of this, though. So instead of doing the normal thing, like getting a priest, they just ignored it and moved into the apartment complex that Alan Bono was managing. Arnie and Alan got along really well and had a great friendship. And in 1981, Arnie's mom told reporters that Arnie used to say how great of a person Alan was. But on the afternoon of February 16th, something happened. It's difficult to say exactly what happened because there are so many differing stories on what occurred. In the afternoon of February 16th, 19-year-old Arnie Johnson and Alan Bono went to lunch at the Mug and Munch Cafe with Arnie's sister and Debbie. They hung out there for about 3 hours, and apparently the two men drank 13 to 15 glasses of wine.
Dang.
The both of them. So based on interviews with Debbie and Wanda, around 6:30 that evening, Bono had made a remark about Debbie, and that caused an argument between the two men. The argument was taken outside, and it turned violent. Arnie claims he doesn't remember anything about this, but when they were outside, it continued to escalate, and then Arnie pulled out a 15-inch folding knife and stabbed Alan Bono 4 times in the stomach.
Wow.
Bono fell to the ground, and Arnie walked off to the woods. Debbie ran back to the apartments. She did not call for an ambulance, though. She called her dad. Later, an ambulance did take Alan to the hospital, but we are unsure of who called. The ambulance driver testified that Alan Bono was lying face up alive, but badly injured from 4 half-moon-shaped stab wounds. As they were looking at his injuries, the ambulance driver overheard Debbie tell her father, "Oh, Daddy, he didn't mean to. You know how he gets when he's drinking." Alan Bono was pronounced dead at the hospital. Police were given Arnie's description, and he was found about an hour later. He was charged with stabbing and murder and was taken to Bridgeport Correctional Center on a $125,000 bond.
Jeez.
The police viewed it as a cut and dry murder case. It was a drunken argument that got out of control. There are also stories because he was found walking on the side of the road.
Yeah, because you said he took off to the woods.
Yeah.
So
There are stories that David started having visions of Arnie walking to the house and he was not himself. And apparently David said that he was telling his siblings, block the door, block the door. If he comes in, we're all dead. He's going to kill us all. And apparently he was on the right track to walk to their house.
Oh, wow.
And he knew this before his mom was even called about the murder. But then again, we don't know if that's like made up later on.
If it's hearsay, yeah.
So the police viewed it as a cut and dry murder case. But days after his arrest, Lorraine and Ed Warren began promoting the story that Arnie killed Alan because he was possessed by a demonic entity. They said he made a mistake when challenging the demons. The Warrens claimed that Arnie was under the demonic influence that wanted to hurt the Glatzel family and ruin Arnie's life by challenging them. Lorraine said, "I knew this case would end in tragedy, but Arnie was the last one they thought it would happen to. The demons used Arnie to achieve its goal to ruin Arnie's life." Lorraine said he was definitely possessed, but didn't believe he was possessed anymore because the demon had done what it wanted to do, ruin his life. So normally, the police would have said, "No, y'all are just crazy." But the Catholic Church was involved in this case, and the police had to stop and think, maybe it could be.
Yeah.
This was because at the time, nearly 1/3 of Americans reported participation in the Catholic Church, and it sadly gave the claim more credibility. People went crazy. There's a flood of inquiries made to the Warrens after their statements of demonic possession, and in response, the diocese came out and said they had received a request for help for possible diabolical possession of the boy. That was the only statement they could give, because the priest had not returned a report and said he was out of the country, so they couldn't reach him for a comment. So while Arnie's waiting in jail, the Warrens are telling this story, claiming that Arnie's case would be the first in American history.
Oh my Lord.
That and that Arnie is waiting in jail. The Warrens are telling this story, claiming that Arnie's case would be the first in American history in which an accused murderer would claim not guilty due to possession.
Yeah.
Arnie had a court-appointed attorney, George Tim, who refused to comment, but he was soon kicked out and replaced by Martin Manella, a young private attorney who was doing the case pro bono. On March 19th, the grand jury weighed the evidence and returned with an indictment after 25 minutes of deliberation.
Oh, wow.
So Martin was like, "We are arguing he didn't do it because he was possessed." And Martin Manella claimed he would bring in witnesses from all over the country. Um, he would bring in witnesses from England, which was kind of expensive. So a defense fund had been created to cover the cost of the strategy. This attracted a lot of attention and press from all over the country, and they wanted to see how this was going to play out in court.
Mhm.
Many people began to wonder if the diocese would help the defense. And Manella told reporters, "I hope the priests will have enough moral conscience to come forward." In a New York Times article, he was quoted saying, "The courts have dealt with the existence of not God. Now they are going to have to deal with the existence of the devil."
I heard a demonic point.
Would you stop?
Now, Ed and Lorraine were also very upset that the diocese was not coming forward and helping. Ed was quoted saying the church is acting like it committed a crime, and he feared the diocese would scatter the priests to the four winds to avoid them from testifying. The clergy was speaking out, saying most of the time in demonic cases, it's not actually a demonic case, but instead mental health.
Yeah.
At the time of this case, a Gallup poll said only 34% of people believe the devil is a personal being who directs evil forces and influences people to do wrong.
Yeah.
The case was gaining attention, not because it was a horrible murder, but because the major actors in this case. But a couple things came out during this. Skeptics began to question the validity of this case. Weeks before this all occurred, starting with David's first hints of possession, the family had watched The Exorcist, and some close to the family says the behavior that David was portraying was very similar to the movie.
Oh, wow.
Secondly, Debbie claimed to have never heard of the Warrens and they were recommended to them. But that wasn't true. She had gone to one of their lectures before the case began. I'm not saying it's a hoax or fraud, but these are some things that people cite as a reason for their skepticism in the case.
Yeah.
The Warrens spoke of their close relationship with the church, and there was a great deal of respect. The church was like, "I don't know about that," and the diocese refused to talk to reporters. The only thing they said was no formal exorcism was ever asked to be performed. So in June 1981, George Cressage, a mentalist who performed under the name of the amazing Cressigen, accused the Warrens of preying on a superstitious public to promote themselves and increase their revenues on their lectures. The Warrens' peers were also very critical of their behavior. Robert Pyle claimed that the Warrens hadn't contributed anything to settling the pandemonium of the case, but maybe even caused some of it. As for the lawyer Manella, he was also receiving backlash from other attorneys. One lawyer said this case wasn't being taken seriously because the Connecticut lawyer knew a jury is unlikely to accept a defense of demonic possession. Manella gained steam, saying, "I took this case because I believe in it." They told Columbus the world was flat, but that didn't stop him.
Okay, really? Come on, Manila.
The police were also getting letters because people were upset that their small town had been overrun by chaos. Now, all of this was for nothing, because on October 28th, Superior Court Judge Robert Callahan refused the defense of demonic possession. He said evidence of demonic possession is not relevant. When Manila said he was going to call priests and several experts to prove there was something called possession, the judge went, "That's not what is on trial." Callahan said he based his decision on the fact there is no such defense could be reliable and it could mislead the jury.
Oh, wow.
He said it would be incompetent evidence and I would not allow it. Apparently, Manila was shocked at this and he asked for a recess. He then went outside to the news media and told them that the judge was prejudiced and had anti-Catholic bias. The judge still said no after hearing that.
Seriously? What is he expecting? Moron.
The judge still said no. He added that if Manila could prove possession, it would not affect the intent of crime, and it would be rooted in a subjective belief and not scientific fact.
Wow.
The prosecutor, Walter Flanagan, continued the case as he always planned to, which that Arnie Johnson, in a drunken rage, stabbed Alan Bono, and who had made a derogatory remark about his girlfriend. The evidence was the knife that belonged to Arnie that was left by him. There was a strew of witnesses and evidence. It was a cut and dry case. People came forward and said Arnie would get aggressive and violent when drunk. Manila said it was self-defense, that that was his backup, that Alan instigated a violent confrontation with Arnie, and Arnie killed Bono in defense of himself and his family. There were claims that Alan tried to grab Mary, who was 9 at the time, like grab her and hold her, and that had pissed off Arnie. Manila did find a way to put some demonic stuff by calling several local priests as character witnesses. The judge was like, you better tread carefully with your questioning.
Yeah.
But before sending the jury out for deliberation, the judge did say to only think of the evidence and ignore anything about the demonic possession defense. After 50 minutes of deliberation, they sent word to the judge they were hopelessly deadlocked in response. In response, the judge said, remember the Chip and Smith charge. When the minority chose to, quote, respect the intelligence of those in the majority and consider their views carefully. The jury agreed and went back to deliberate more. 16 hours later, the jury found Arnie guilty of manslaughter, not murder, because it didn't seem planned. It was heat of the moment. According to several jury members, Arnie only intended to injure him, not kill him, which doesn't make it first-degree murder.
Right.
Arnie went back to court for December 19th, 1981 for sentencing. The judge imposed the maximum sentence allowed in Connecticut state law, which was 10 to 20 years. He said Arnie's lack of remorse was his reasoning for imposing the maximum sentence. The judge said, I do not assume the powers of God. You took a human life, and you showed no acknowledgement of guilt and little remorse. And as this was said, Debbie shouted, that's sick, and stormed out of the courtroom.
Wow.
Manila apparently filed an appeal, but in March 1982, the appeal was withdrawn at Arnie's request. In 1983, friends of the Warren, Gerald Brittle, published The Devil in Connecticut, which was allegedly a non-fictional account of the Johnson case. The Devil in Connecticut was adapted into the Demon murder case. Arnie Johnson began serving his sentence in December of 1981 at the Connecticut Correctional Institution in Somers, Connecticut. In January 1985, Arnie married Debbie Glatzel just 2 months later. Arnie was granted early release after only serving 5 years in jail. In January 1986, the parole board cited he was a model prisoner. In 2007, Carl Glatzel and David Glatzel filed a civil suit against Gerald Brittle and Universe Publishing, an attempt to stop them from republishing The Devil in Connecticut, which even the author admitted in court's document is a, quote, fictionalized account of David and Carl's life, but it was marked as nonfiction. There were also things in the book that were blatantly false and defamatory, stating they had a lot of difficulty in school, they were made fun of, they had difficulty getting jobs because of the notoriety that had come from this whole thing. Debbie and Arnie claimed that the Warrens wrote. Debbie and Arnie claimed that what the Warrens wrote in that book was true. Lorraine was also very dismissive of Carl and David's civil suit. She said it was ridiculous. Lorraine said it was based on what the parents said and the involvement of 6 unnamed priests. Unfortunately, Brittle won the case, especially since they couldn't prove it was defamatory. And that's the Arnie Johnson case. So Arnie Johnson now goes around and he does interviews
about what happened.
David Glatzel more recently did an interview with Netflix. There's a whole entire TV series on it.
Okay.
They have Arnie on the case. That's where some of the like.
But does he still talk about if he still sees things, or
No, Arnie says he doesn't see anything. David says he doesn't see anything.
huh? So whatever it was that happened, and whatever it was that they did,
And the thing is, a lot of people don't believe it was a real possession, and I struggle to believe if it was a real possession too.
yeah,
Because from my understanding, a minor rite of exorcism, if he is fully possessed, if he was at the stage that Lorraine and Ed Warren was saying David was at, they were saying he was in the last stage of possession, that demon had taken over his whole entire body, that David was no longer in control of his own body.
David probably like some. I don't know about all possessions. I thought it was her meowing for a minute. Sorry, there's a siren outside. Some people have died from their possessions, like you said. The Emily Rose,
Yeah,
she died from her possession.
and that's the thing. That's like the final stage. That is not something that can be solved by a minor rite of exorcism. The beginning, where they kind of take over,
Yeah,
yeah, he would have been sick and frail, but he never got sick or frail. And the fact that Carl was like, nah, he was having issues long before this. And the fact that they never took him to a doctor, that is the part that gets me. They still have said they never took him to a doctor. David admits himself they never took him to a doctor while this all began. When this all began, they never went, "Oh, let's get him seen.
yeah, because he
Let's
was.
go to the main doctor."
Yeah,
Instead, they went, "A priest."
yeah, and I've heard a lot of stories on the Warrens that they did this mostly for money and for fame and for notoriety,
Yeah.
all of that stuff because even on one of the haunting shows, I can't remember who, and I don't want to say the wrong one
Hmm.
because they even talk about them, Lorraine Warren and all,
Yeah.
and both of them.
And we don't mean to speak ill of the dead, but
Yeah,
if you're using it for fame and money, there are real things out there, and to use it for your own selfish desires,
that's, I mean, karma.
yeah.
I'm a
But
I
it
always say I'm
you
a big believer of karma, but don't like saying don't be dumb with it.
don't be dumb.
Do your research before actually wanting to try and handle
Go
something
to
like
and
that, and
that's
go to a church.
go to a
Go to your
church.
priest.
Go to and the thing is, I wonder what would have happened if instead of calling the Warrens, they instead followed the Catholic Church thing. If the Catholic Church was like, "Cool, we're gonna do this minor rite of exorcism," cool, that didn't work. We're gonna go now take you to a doctor. I wonder what they would have found.
Yeah, true. Yeah, yeah, because it would be interesting to know what they would have found if they would have followed it.
Yeah, because apparently David was also, from what I remember reading, David was bullied a lot as a kid
Yeah.
because of his weight.
Mm,
And kids tend to act out.
yeah. Yeah. True.
The fact that Mary Johnson and the people who were living in the house where it originally started, nothing. They
Yeah.
they they were like, nothing's happening in this house.
But if David was there,
But even then, from what I understand from like possessions or even hauntings,
uh-huh.
if there is something in the house to attach itself and stay to you for months and months and months, you have to constantly go back and
Hmm.
refill that energy. A spirit just doesn't latch on and stay latched on to you unless you took something from it. If
Yeah.
it was attached to a ring, you took the ring home. Like it's weird
Yeah.
how the case began.
Oh.
It's just weird. It's up to you to believe it.
Yeah.
But before we get to the recordings, because I will play a recording for you, a couple. I'm gonna play David Glatzel's one of David Glatzel's, and then I'm gonna show you a thing from Annabelle Michaels, aka Emily Rose. She was a girl who the church still claims she was possessed. She died after having 67 exorcisms performed on her by two priests. She claims she was possessed, and you'll hear who she claims is possessing her in this recording. I took it from BuzzFeed, so I could the BuzzFeed Unsolved, so I could see the translations a little better because they had translated it because she was German. So translating it from German to English, they have the translation, so I can read you what it says, what she says, because it's not spoken in English. It's in German completely.
Yeah.
But have you seen the case that's happening right now of Emmanuel? Oh my gosh, it's all over my TikTok feed.
Of course it is.
It's Emmanuel Haro.
Okay.
So Emmanuel Haro, I don't know if any of you have heard of it. Is this? I think he's 7 months old. He's 7 months old, and his parents say his mom specifically says that she was putting the baby in the car of the Big Five parking lot, and she hears a Mexican man say "Hola," punches her in the face, and then takes the baby.
Oh, wow.
But the issue is they're doing research into the family, right? So people are looking into this case. The whole entire time she's talking to the media, she specifies Big Five has no cameras in their parking lot. Why are you specifying that to the news? The whole entire time, she's not crying. There is not a single tear coming from her eye. Instead, she's going like fake, like breathing in really heavily. Screams Casey Anthony. Oh, she was changing his diaper when he got attacked.
Wow.
Which, again, she turns around and she didn't see his face.
How do you not see his? I mean,
and he punches you
she
in
also
the eye.
has 5 other kids.
Yes.
Wow.
Somebody also did research. They were looking into the background. Apparently, about 2 months ago, he looked fine. The baby looked fine, but apparently now he's severely cross-eyed. The dad says he has a lazy eye. Yeah, they were all there, but they weren't there. They were someplace else. The dad's like, oh no, he has a lazy eye. But people are looking at multiple photos, and the baby is completely cross-eyed.
Oh, wow.
Which is a symptom of shaking baby syndrome. Apparently, the boyfriend or husband, he has a case against him. He beat up one of his other kids with another woman so badly it caused brain damage.
Wow.
So they're like, that's a little suspicious. So also, a Walmart coworker, he used to work at Walmart, the dude, said, yeah, you need to look into him.
Oh, wow.
He's very aggressive. He bragged about beating his kids.
That's messed up.
That's messed up, right? And even the dad is like doing neither of them are crying. They're hyperventilating almost. They're specifying there's no cameras. A Big Five employee came out and said, yeah, they came into the store like 2 days before this occurred. She brought her daughter in.
Yeah.
And they asked if there were cameras in the parking lot. That's how they knew there were no cameras in the parking lot.
Because they asked the employees.
The other stores, though, they have them.
Yeah, and us both. That's messed up, man.
It's messed up. And everyone is watching this, and I'm like, this just screams Casey Anthony to me. Because they're telling stories, and then they're switching up their stories real quick.
Yeah.
But apparently, they had cadaver dogs at their house because of all of this stuff that's coming out. Apparently, from what I understand, last night, the cadaver dogs smelled blood. The baby's blood. So this is looking like a case where the parents probably killed him.
Wow.
And I'm sitting here like, how could you, a 7-month-old baby?
Got some sick people.
How could he be around kids if he had beat one of his kids so bad he has brain damage now?
What?
What?
No. They say no one he still comes.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're enjoying the show.
Okay, but yeah, so I wanted to talk about that case because that case is like a wild case. I haven't heard any updates on it because we've been at work and I haven't been on TikTok recently, so I haven't.
Yeah, because we can't wear earbuds.
Yeah, we can't wear earbuds.
Thomas says hi.
Yeah, the mom stopped talking to the police too.
Well, that doesn't make it. Any more suspicious?
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Just the way she was talking, she's sitting in there, and apparently people saw her the day before her son went missing, and she had the black eye already.
Wow. I couldn't wear earbuds.
Nope. Fun fact, you can't. They took it all away. They took it away from all of us. I use the earbuds as a form of pain management, and I'm not allowed to wear them anymore. Whoever made it that I cannot wear my earbuds, I'm gonna fight you because now I gotta feel my pain and I don't appreciate it. Okay. Let me pull up my computer.
Shut up, Siri. Thank you. New coach. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, she made it for everybody. Because OPD associates were like, well, they can wear their earbuds.
That is so true, Thomas. She's a chick of shit.
Exactly. I know. The first time I saw the interview, I was like, is this acting? Is this AI? This might be AI. I thought it was AI, and then I just scrolled because I thought it was AI. And then I saw somebody talking about the case, and I was like, oh, it's not AI. I was like, oh, this is an actual cry. This is like she actually committed this murder.
Oh, so she did it at the other store and it didn't last long. Oh, wow. Really? I think right now we're talking about the earbuds on Angela's comment.
Let me get my little mouse. Because I do not have it.
Your mouse.
My mouse.
Your mouse. Another few second intermission. We need to take these apples and give them to the little groundy squirrely squirrels.
My mouse.
You gonna eat my ranch dip? You know, I look forward to eating. You can have it. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I can't have it. You're not kidding.
No, I wasn't
Don't
kidding.
start some shit with me. You hear this, folks? I'm hitting a woman.
Would you stop? You would get your butt kicked before you could even throw the first punch.
I know mine.
No, not that one. Yeah. Yeah, you could kind of hear it. So this is hers. We're not going to play this one first. Why the fuck?
What are you trying to find? I can't remember.
Okay, so.
John's getting beat up. No.
Okay, so
not today.
this is the exorcism of David Glatzel. This is an actual audio recording. Let me turn up the volume on. And that's Arnie. So that's the audio of
John wishes.
I don't know if you heard it. Could you hear it? I don't know if the microphone picked it up. I hope the microphone picked it up.
It should.
Let me know.
Yes, that way we can figure it out. And we don't own the rights to this, just so
Yeah,
you know.
we don't.
She found it on
It's-
YouTube.
Yeah.
So I want to make that perfectly clear, and I'll put that in the description and in the title.
I'm pretty sure the Conjuring people bought the rights to it. They own the rights to the whole entire thing.
Oh, okay. Well, we still don't own the rights to it, but the Conjuring does. What are you doing?
In the audio here wasn't also very loud. But did like you hear the tone of his voice? Like you could tell it was him, like the weird voice talking.
They picked up, but wasn't very loud. Yeah.
Could you hear it, or could you hear the boy who was speaking? That
Like
you
the
could
growling and stuff he was
the
doing?
growling. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So now we're gonna talk about. I'm just gonna show you this one. This is the one that the Catholic Church maintains. Is one of This is the church maintains she was possessed.
And this is off of BuzzFeed Unsolved.
The
so
chilling exorcism of Annalise Michaels.
So yeah, we don't own the rights to this one either. So we'll give credit to BuzzFeed in the description.
Pieces of audio I've ever heard.
So she croaks, this dumbass bitch. Screams. Yes, there is no coming back. Never. All eternity.
She's
So basically the demon says, I'm with her until she croaks. This pardon my language, this dumbass bitch.
Yep.
I'm with her for eternity.
Pretty much saying you're never gonna get rid of me.
And then I'm gonna see if we could. So yeah, that one you could tell the different, like it's very, very different.
Judas, Nero, Cain, Hitler.
So basically they ask her who is possessing you, and she says Judas, Cain,
Nero, and Hitler.
And they're like, nah, you told us there were 6 of you originally. Who's the 6th? And she's
lied.
like, I lied about the 6th. I heard the rest of the audio. This is the best one because it was translated. From what I could get in the English transcription, was that she then said, there's a female in the room, and she goes, Lucifer. And they're like, he's possessing her as well. So the church maintains she was possessed by 6 people. Judas, Cain, Nero, Hitler,
Lucifer.
There was somebody else. Judas.
No, they just showed Judas, Nero, Hitler, Cain, and then that person said Lucifer.
There is one more demon she is possessed. I can look it up real quick.
Because it said that they asked about who the 6th one was, and she said that she lied about him.
Okay, so it is the 6th person was an evil priest named Fleshman. Now this one threw back the priest who performed her exorcism, because this was a 15th century priest.
Oh wow.
Who was excommunicated by the church, and the only people who really know about him are church historians.
Huh.
He was excommunicated because he was so evil.
Oh wow.
And she claimed that he was possessing her, which threw the priest for a loop. Yeah. The priest was like, how the hell do you know about this man? Because we don't teach about this man.
Yeah, because he's so evil.
because he was literally kicked out of the church in the 15th century.
Wow.
So yeah, they claimed Lucifer, Cain, Judas, Nero, Hitler, and an evil priest named Fleischmann.
And it even says in the little thing here she has up that they argued
They
during the
argue, and you can
amongst them.
you can kind of hear the tonal differences
Mm-hmm.
between the two. It was weird. A lot of hers, there's an hour and 32-minute recording. I would zone through most of it, kind of sped through it. Most of her audio, she's like, there's a part where they're asking her and they put a rosary in front of her, and she's like, it's no, do not put a rosary in front of me. She screams. There is a lot of screaming she does and a lot of like growling, and it's like weird growling. It's like growling that gives me chills.
Yeah.
But you can kind of see the difference between the two. With hers, it's more guttural.
Yeah, you could tell.
With his, it's more
Throat wise.
yeah, it's more in the throat.
Yeah, with hers you can hear it coming from deep in.
Deep
From the
in
down the gut.
deep in the like gut, and it was like a different, and she almost maintains the same voice throughout it, but his like varies.
Mm.
So those are the two different ones. But yeah, that is the Ernie Johnson case. The devil made me do it. This is a milder one.
A milder one until we get to the harsh one before they go on vacation.
We're gonna have two harsh ones before we go on vacation. Well, we're gonna have the one that we record next week.
Yeah.
And then we have the Edmund Kemper one.
Which we have to record the following week.
No, we have to record that on the Wednesday.
I'm so confused. Our calendar is over there and it's not marked of what we're doing.
So this upcoming Monday,
right,
the day of my doctor's appointment,
yes,
we have the toy box killer case.
And that's the one that we're doing. Okay.
Where we're doing live.
Right.
And then we have to record on Wednesday.
Yes, for Monday.
Okay. The Edmund Kemper case.
Okay. Damn, so days have been running together for me now. Like, I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I forget they only have like 10 days for their, well, less than that now, but still, that's July's days. Don't look at that.
Yeah, we
haven't
have
cleaned it off yet.
We have. Is it weird? I'm more excited for my doctor's appointment than I am the trip right now. I think it's because the doctor's appointment is closer than the trip.
Yeah, makes sense.
So next week I might have news to share with you all.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But yeah.
And then speaking of, well, since we're going to pre-record that on Wednesday, I was looking up.
Or we could do it on Tuesday or Thursday, or we
matter.
could do it after we do the toy box killer. I don't think you're going to want to do that. I think you're going to want to break from the case. We could also do it the Friday before.
Either way, doesn't matter to me.
Or the Saturday. We could do it the Saturday because I don't work.
And you know, I won't have to work on Sunday, so I could possibly try to sleep. So for Wednesday coming up, remember I was talking about how I was trying to find conspiracy theories?
Yeah.
Oop. This is the ancient and classical era. So this is a breakdown of some of the oldest conspiracy theories. So Nero's fake death, the affair of the harems.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that one is. Okay. Oh, yeah, I don't know what
the Pisonian.
The Pisonian conspiracy and the Barbarian conspiracy. So that's 4 things, and that's the ancient and classical era. So I actually have a list on here that I wanted to look up and see what the oldest one is. And the oldest one that they have, this is overall view. Conspiracy theories, the belief that a powerful, secretive group is manipulating events, have existed throughout history. One of the oldest examples is the belief that Jews were secretly plotting to regain the Holy Land, a theory that gained traction in the Middle Ages and persists in various forms today. Other early examples include theories about the assassination of Roman Empire emperors and the survival of a secret society like the Illuminati.
Yeah.
So
that's just a lot of ways to have anti-Semitism. That's just a way to justify anti-Semitism.
So there's just like little things on here that I'm gonna look at because I've even had people approach me about the big attacks that have happened. Like one of our coworkers said something. They're like, "Oh yeah, did they actually fly into the Twin Towers?" Yeah, because they're not standing there no more. How is that?
Oh no, because one of the conspiracy theories is that yes, they had a plane hit the first tower, and a plane hit the second tower, but that the government had put explosives in the building and blew up the building, and that's how the building collapsed.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too, but I doubt that. But there's like one from medieval era. There's also early modern era.
I will say what I always say. When it comes to terrible events that happen, people struggle to accept the terribleness because their brain cannot comprehend someone doing so insanely evil. So they have to find a way to make it fake or make it so many people didn't die because their brain cannot handle that amount of loss. It's the same reason why if I ask you to picture $1 billion in your mind, you can't picture it. If I tell you to picture 100 people in your brain, you can't picture it. Because your brain just cannot process that many people or that amount of money because it is too much for our brains to process.
Right.
Like I can picture like a 1 billion, like I can picture the words 1 billion, but I can't picture like the bills.
Makes sense. So yeah, so I'm gonna see what I can figure out. Even you can look up weird theories. So I'm trying to just find something to give it a test run, see what happens.
I'm sorry guys, I'm like going down.
Me too.
I'm sinking.
I started going down like not even at the beginning or halfway through it, more or less at the end. Because we've been up since 4:15, 4 o'clock, whatever.
Woo, 4 o'clock.
And
Esther woke me up. He was like, "You're supposed to be up," and I'm like,
and I got to be up at 4 tomorrow too. So there you go. Then I'm off Wednesday. So
I work Wednesday and I got to be up at 5.
I will. What do you mean be up at 4 to be at work at 5?
Oh yeah, I got to be up at 4.
No, I'm singing that song. But yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna figure out something. I'll figure out something that we can talk about and discuss. That's a theory. I mean, you look at Edgar Allan Poe. His is kind of a theory too.
Yeah.
Was it alcohol poisoning or was he poisoned? You'll be at work at 4. No,
Woo.
I'll see you.
We'll be at work at 5. We could do what we did today, which was sit in 2 of the.
Yeah, I went and got an electric cart because there was 2 of them sitting out there. One by the door. I was like, yeah, I want to go get the electric cart, and I'm all riding around the corner, and then
and right when she parked it,
they're like, "You want to go in?"
They're like, "You want to come in?" And we're like, oh, "Fudge!" So we walked in, and then we were like 30 minutes early because it was a 4:30.
Yep, I was like, could have waited like 15 more minutes. You'll be there at 8. No, I'll be in women's. I gotta finish making sure that stuff is marked.
I will be cooking and staying home and sleeping.
Yep. I've been trying to keep up with dishes this whole week. Doing a pretty good job of it. And then we ran out of soap.
Yeah, and then we ran out of soap.
We had to get this.
And then we forgot that we ran out of soap, and then we were like, "Damn it!"
So yep, so a sink full of dishes, which is normal in this house.
We try.
It's all good. It's all good in the hood.
So I have to clean the bathroom. I'm gonna clean the bathroom.
You clean the bathroom. You want pumpkin stuff? No, they got some Halloween stuff out at the store.
They have some cute Halloween cups. I'm not gonna
go
lie.
over the housewares. You were taking orders, my bad. Not yet.
Not yet.
We're gonna try and do maybe like do a Monday one where we're baking or cooking or making fall food. I can't wait to have like a different kitchen and a layout for a kitchen to where our backs ain't to you.
Also, quick question. Have any of you seen that Bath and Body Works is releasing a villain set? I know she's seen it.
Yeah, depression and anxiety. There are 2 things that I want, 2 things that I must have. 2 things. I could care less probably about the scents until I smell them. But there's 2 things I have to have. It's the plug-in
I
for
saw it.
Maleficent, and the candle holder that is a castle with her wrapped around it as a dragon.
I'm gonna be honest.
You people at Bath and Body Works, you don't like me, do you?
I stood in line for a long time waiting to get my sandwich at Subway. And then I sat down. And I was sitting there and I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch some TikToks. First TikTok I see is that. And I was like, whoop, send this to Michelle.
Oh no, see that's the problem is people I may not want to look, but people will send it to me and let me know, and then depression hits. And it's more or less then it turns into anxiety
No,
because I'm
she
like,
wants
I
a
need it.
candle holder.
Yes.
But not just any
She wants
candle holder.
depression and anxiety. Yes. So yeah. It's a really cool freaking candle holder. It's literally Maleficent's castle, and then she's wrapped around it as as a dragon form. And then there's a wall plug-in of her. And then what else was there? And then the scents, like the wall plugins I would want. But see, the thing is, I bought the stuff for the princesses when it first came out, and I'm like, all right, you guys, Bath and Body Works. I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna break me. I'm gonna be broke. You guys are doing this.
And I'm surprised.
It's a cool collaboration.
I'm surprised though that they only did the Evil Queen and Maleficent. I thought they would do like what they did with the Disney princesses. I thought they would do like Jafar and Yuzma.
I think
Yzma.
I think they probably have to come up with scents for those.
I wonder if it'll make if it's super popular. I wonder if it'll make a comeback and they'll bring the more villains with them.
Probably that'd be a great thing. Because I've already said when we get our own home, like our own house, permanent house, the guest bathroom is going to be a Disney bathroom. It's going to be smelling of like.
I'm going to be honest. There is a candle holder I really want. It's not a villain's one, the Halloween one. It is a pastry shop. It's a bakery.
It's very cute.
It is huge. It's like $200. So there's no way I can get it. But it's
very cute.
Huge.
Now
it's so big. Like if I were to light a candle inside of it, Tataru couldn't even reach the candle, which is really nice.
The other candle holder they have, I kind of want it because it looks really cool. Is the hand is like this holding the poison apple.
Oh, the
and
Evil
on the
Queen?
inside, as she was pointing it out to me, is it looks old in here, but on the outside it looks young. I'm like, oh, maybe that's because it's the evil queen on the outside, and the old lady, the hag of her side, holding the apple on the inside.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. It's really cool. You'll know in a couple
and
weeks.
I will keep you updated on the Emmanuel case. I'll let you know what happens.
Yes, please.
Because I'm pretty sure they killed him.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they did that.
But you'll know in a couple weeks if I have it.
Yeah.
Because Bath and Body Work people that have the Bath and Body Work rewards can go online only the 26th and 27th because none of this stuff comes out into the store until September 3rd.
Yeah.
So,
and we have to, if I were to get anything, I would have to order it because we're going on our trip and we'll be out of town when it releases.
Yep.
So if I wanted to buy anything, I would have to buy it online. Which I hope they continue doing the 50% off because I might splurge and be like, this is my birthday present to myself with that little pastry shop.
Yeah.
Because it's so cute. It has like a little cake in the window. There's a little cauldron and a witch's broom. And it's pink and black. It's adorable.
Pumpkin. Why are you laying by the door? Huh?
It's so she can watch us and keep an eye on him.
Oh.
Tataru likes to sleep in the corner by the washer machine because she can watch Justin's room and she can keep an eye on us in the living room.
Yeah, she does. She's a silly kitty. All right, kids, we're gonna jump off.
And everyone,
we're tired, and then we got dinner in the oven, which should be done by now.
Yeah, and then everyone, remember tomorrow, next time we do this live for the Toy Box Killer, please bring liquor. You're going to need it. This man is awful.
Yep.
So please bring your alcohol. You're gonna need it to cope.
But please put your keys where you cannot find them.
Sleep well. Have a good night.
Have a good night, Angela.
Yes, drinking party.
Thomas, I will see you guys tomorrow at work.
See you guys.
So have fun. Good night, everybody. Love you.
Bye.
Bye. Here's a Kleenex in your
Bye.
face.
Bye.
Bye.